The foundation of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is built on the idea of paradigms and principles. Covey starts with a profound observation. Many of the challenges and frustrations we face stem from how we see the world, not necessarily how the world is. He emphasizes that if we want to change our circumstances, we must first change our perceptions or paradigms. These paradigms act as mental maps that guide our understanding of reality. However, as Covey points out, if the map is incorrect, no amount of effort or positive thinking will lead us to the right destination. The key is ensuring that our maps align with principles, the timeless natural laws that govern human effectiveness. One compelling example in the book illustrates how deeply our paradigms influence behavior. Covey recounts a personal experience on a New York subway. The car was calm until a man and his rowdy children entered, disrupting the peace. The children's unruly behavior irritated Covey, and he felt compelled to confront the father. When he finally spoke, the man explained that they had just left the hospital where the children's mother had died. In that instant, Covey's paradigm shifted. His irritation turned to compassion, and he saw the situation entirely differently. This story captures the essence of why paradigms matter. They shape not only how we see the world but also how we respond to it. Covey contrasts 2 approaches to success: the character ethic and the personality ethic. The character ethic, which dominated success literature before the 20th century, is grounded in universal principles like integrity, humility, and courage. It focuses on building internal strength to achieve lasting results. The personality ethic, on the other hand, emphasizes external image and techniques, such as charm or influence strategies, to achieve superficial success. Covey argues that while the personality ethic may offer quick fixes, it often overlooks deeper, chronic issues. True effectiveness comes from aligning our paradigms with the character ethic and its principles. Principles are compared to lighthouses, unwavering, non-negotiable, and governing all human behavior. Covey explains that attempting to go against principles is like trying to ignore the law of gravity. For example, if someone bases their actions on deceit or manipulation, they may achieve short-term success but will ultimately face mistrust and failure. Principles such as fairness, integrity, and human dignity are universal and enduring, providing the foundation for effective living. Covey encourages readers to examine their paradigms and align them with these principles to achieve meaningful and sustainable success. To understand paradigms better, Covey uses a psychological demonstration involving a picture that can be interpreted as either a young woman or an old lady. Depending on what participants are initially shown, their perception of the image changes. Even when faced with the same facts, the lines and shapes on the page, people interpret them differently based on their conditioning. This exercise underscores how powerful and ingrained paradigms can be. It also highlights the need for paradigm shifts, those aha moments when we see the world differently. These shifts are essential for personal and professional growth. Covey emphasizes that significant change begins from the inside out. Rather than blaming external circumstances or other people for our problems, we must take responsibility for our own perceptions and behaviors. He shares a personal story about his son, who struggled academically and socially. Despite Covey's and his wife's efforts to encourage their son, their approach was ineffective because their underlying paradigm was flawed. They saw him as inadequate and needing protection. When they shifted their perspective to view him as a capable and unique individual, their actions aligned with this new belief, and their son began to thrive. This transformation exemplifies the power of an inside-out approach. The chapter also delves into the concept of primary and secondary greatness. Primary greatness is rooted in character and principles, while secondary greatness is tied to external achievements like wealth or fame. Covey warns against focusing solely on secondary greatness, as it often leads to hollow success. He uses the analogy of cramming for an exam or skipping the planting season on a farm, pointing out that shortcuts may yield temporary results but cannot replace genuine growth and mastery. True effectiveness requires daily discipline and adherence to principles, much like cultivating a thriving farm requires consistent effort over time. One of the most powerful insights in this section is the idea that the way we see the problem is the problem. Covey explains that many people approach challenges with a superficial mindset, looking for quick fixes or external solutions. For instance, an executive might struggle with disengaged employees and seek motivational training programs to improve performance. However, if the executive views employees as tools rather than individuals with their own needs and aspirations, no amount of training will address the root issue. The problem lies not in the employees but in the leader's paradigm. The importance of principles is further illustrated through the analogy of a ship's captain navigating through fog. When a light appears in the distance, the captain orders the other vessel to change course. But the light doesn't move, it's a lighthouse. The captain, realizing his error, adjusts his path. The lighthouse symbolizes principles, immovable and guiding. Just as the captain cannot demand the lighthouse to move, we cannot ignore principles without facing the consequences. Aligning our actions with principles ensures we navigate life effectively, even in uncertain circumstances. Finally, Covey introduces the concept of paradigm shifts as a gateway to transformative change. These shifts occur when we break free from old ways of thinking and adopt new perspectives. For example, a shift from the personality ethic to the character ethic can dramatically alter how we approach success and relationships. While some paradigm shifts happen suddenly, like Covey's subway experience, others are gradual and require deliberate effort. The inside-out approach involves cultivating character, questioning assumptions, and embracing principles as the foundation for growth. In summary, Part 1 of the book lays the groundwork for the 7 habits by emphasizing the importance of paradigms and principles. It challenges readers to examine their mental maps, question their assumptions, and align their actions with timeless truths. Through vivid examples and compelling analogies, Covey illustrates that real change begins from within. By adopting an inside-out approach and committing to principles, individuals can transform not only their own lives but also their relationships and communities. The journey to effectiveness starts with how we see, and ultimately who we choose to become. In Part 2 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Covey explores the foundation of personal effectiveness, which he calls the private victory. This section is about mastering yourself before you can effectively lead or collaborate with others. It encompasses the first 3 habits. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. These habits are the building blocks of independence, moving individuals from a reactive, victimized state to one of personal responsibility and intentional living. The first habit, be proactive, addresses the fundamental principle of personal responsibility. Covey explains that proactive individuals understand they are the creators of their own lives, not mere products of their circumstances. They focus on their circle of influence, what they can control, rather than their circle of concern, which includes external factors beyond their power. Proactive people take ownership of their choices, recognizing that their response to any situation is within their control. Covey illustrates this concept through the example of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor. Frankl endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps, yet he discovered that even in the most oppressive conditions, his freedom to choose his response remained intact. He chose to find meaning in his suffering and to focus on his internal freedom rather than external limitations. This profound insight forms the essence of proactivity. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that determines your life's direction. To further clarify, Covey contrasts proactive and reactive language. Reactive people say things like, "That's just the way I am," or "They make me so mad," implying that their emotions and actions are dictated by external circumstances. Proactive people, on the other hand, use language like, "I choose" or "I will," reflecting a sense of agency. Proactivity requires self-awareness, courage, and a commitment to act in alignment with principles, regardless of external pressures. The second habit, begin with the end in mind, builds on the proactive foundation by encouraging individuals to define their life goals and purpose. Covey asks readers to imagine their own funeral and reflect on what they would want others to say about them. This exercise emphasizes the importance of living with a clear sense of direction. Rather than being swept along by daily tasks and external demands, this habit calls for a focus on long-term values and goals. Covey introduces the concept of a personal mission statement as a practical tool for implementing this habit. A mission statement articulates your deepest values and overarching purpose, serving as a compass to guide your decisions and actions. For instance, a business executive who values family might prioritize work-life balance in their mission statement. This clarity helps them make choices that align with their values, even when faced with competing demands. To highlight the importance of habit 2, Covey recounts a story about a team clearing a jungle. The team is highly efficient, cutting through the jungle with precision and speed. However, when someone climbs a tree to survey the area, they discover they're in the wrong jungle. This metaphor underscores that effectiveness is not just about doing things right, but doing the right things. Habit 2 ensures that your ladder is leaning against the right wall before you begin climbing. The third habit, put first things first, is where the principles of proactivity and purposeful living are put into practice. This habit is about prioritizing and managing your time in alignment with your values. Covey introduces a time management matrix that categorizes activities into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. The key to this habit is focusing on quadrant 2, important but not urgent activities. These include planning, building relationships, and personal growth, which often get neglected in the hustle of daily life. Covey provides a relatable example of a busy professional who is constantly firefighting urgent tasks but neglects their health, family, and long-term goals. By shifting their focus to quadrant 2, they can create a more balanced and fulfilling life. This requires saying no to distractions and lesser priorities, which can be challenging but is essential for long-term success. Habit 3 demands discipline and the ability to delay gratification, choosing what is truly important over what is merely immediate. One powerful tool Covey suggests is weekly planning, where you allocate time for activities that align with your mission statement and key roles. For example, if someone values being a present parent, they might schedule dedicated time with their children each week. This approach ensures that important commitments don't get overshadowed by the noise of daily demands. A central theme of the private victory is the principle of integrity. Integrity is about keeping promises to yourself and aligning your actions with your values. Covey explains that every time you make and keep a promise to yourself, you build self-confidence and a sense of personal power. Conversely, breaking promises erodes trust in yourself and undermines your ability to achieve your goals. Integrity is the glue that holds these habits together, providing the foundation for sustained growth. The private victory is not an overnight transformation but a gradual process of building internal strength. Covey likens it to planting a seed. You can't expect a harvest immediately, but with consistent effort, growth is inevitable. He also emphasizes the importance of self-discipline, comparing it to the energy required to break free of the Earth's gravitational pull during a rocket launch. Just as a rocket needs a strong initial thrust, developing new habits requires sustained effort and focus. Ultimately, the private victory prepares individuals for the public victory, which focuses on building effective relationships and collaborating with others. However, without first mastering yourself, true interdependence is impossible. Covey's message is clear. You cannot give what you don't possess. The private victory ensures that you are rooted in principles and equipped to face life's challenges with clarity, purpose, and resilience. Through vivid examples, practical tools, and profound insights, Covey demonstrates that the private victory is the cornerstone of personal and professional success. It requires self-awareness, purposeful living, and disciplined action. By internalizing these 3 habits, individuals can break free from reactive patterns, define their own path, and achieve a life of meaningful independence. This journey is the first step toward becoming not just successful but truly effective. In Part 3 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Covey introduces the concept of the public victory, which builds on the foundation of personal effectiveness established in the private victory. While the first 3 habits focus on independence, the next 3 shift to interdependence, recognizing that success and fulfillment in life often come through collaboration and relationships. Habits 4, 5, and 6, think win/win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergize, focus on the principles that foster trust, cooperation, and mutual benefit. Covey begins by addressing the concept of interdependence. He explains that human relationships are governed by principles, just as individual effectiveness is. To thrive in relationships, one must understand that interdependence is not a weakness but a higher level of maturity that transcends independence. This shift requires moving from a mindset of competition to one of cooperation. Covey uses the metaphor of an emotional bank account to illustrate how trust is built and maintained in relationships. Just as with a financial account, deposits must be made regularly to maintain a healthy balance. These deposits include acts of kindness, keeping promises, and showing genuine care. Withdrawals, such as breaking trust or failing to meet expectations, can deplete the account and strain relationships. Habit 4, think win/win, is about seeking outcomes that benefit all parties. Covey argues that many people approach relationships with a scarcity mindset, believing that for one person to win, another must lose. This zero-sum perspective often leads to adversarial dynamics and distrust. In contrast, the win/win mindset operates from an abundance mentality, recognizing that there is enough for everyone to succeed. Covey emphasizes that win/win is not a technique but a philosophy of human interaction based on respect and fairness. One of Covey's examples involves a father and son negotiating time for chores and play. Instead of imposing a solution, the father involves the son in creating a plan that satisfies both their needs. The son feels respected and valued, and the father achieves his goal of instilling responsibility. This collaboration not only resolves the immediate issue but also strengthens their relationship. Covey highlights that win/win is not always the solution. There are times when win/lose or compromise may be necessary, but it should always be the goal when relationships matter most. The fifth habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood, emphasizes the importance of empathetic communication. Covey explains that most people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. This reactive approach often leads to miscommunication and conflict. True listening requires setting aside one's own perspective and entering the world of the other person. This habit is rooted in the principle of respect and the idea that understanding others is the key to being understood. Covey provides a vivid example of a parent trying to connect with a troubled teenager. The parent's instinct is to lecture and provide advice, but this only drives the teenager further away. By instead listening empathetically and validating the teenager's feelings, the parent creates an environment of trust. Over time, the teenager opens up, and the parent can offer guidance that is received willingly. This habit requires emotional strength and patience, as it involves temporarily suspending one's own agenda to fully focus on the other person. One of the most profound aspects of Habit 5 is its transformative power. Covey recounts how applying empathetic listening in professional settings can turn contentious negotiations into collaborative problem-solving. When people feel genuinely heard, their defensiveness decreases, and they become more open to considering other perspectives. This habit not only improves individual relationships but also enhances teamwork and organizational effectiveness. Habit 6, synergize, is the culmination of the principles of interdependence. Synergy occurs when the combined efforts of a group produce results greater than the sum of their individual contributions. It is the principle of creative cooperation, where differences are not just tolerated but celebrated. Covey describes synergy as the essence of leadership, requiring trust, open-mindedness, and a commitment to the shared goal. An example Covey shares involves a diverse team working on a challenging project. Initially, their differing viewpoints create friction and conflict. However, by embracing those differences and fostering an atmosphere of respect and collaboration, the team discovers innovative solutions that none of them could have achieved alone. This process highlights the power of diversity in generating creative ideas and achieving superior outcomes. Covey also emphasizes that synergy is not limited to teamwork. It can occur in any relationship where trust and respect exist. For instance, a married couple with differing personalities and strengths can create a synergistic partnership by valuing each other's contributions and working together toward shared goals. Synergy transforms relationships from mere coexistence to genuine collaboration. At the heart of synergy is the idea of valuing differences. Covey points out that many conflicts arise because people view differences as threats rather than opportunities. By shifting this paradigm, individuals can approach disagreements with curiosity and openness. Covey uses the analogy of musical harmony to explain synergy. Just as different notes combine to create a richer sound, diverse perspectives can produce better solutions and deeper connections. The public victory requires a high level of emotional maturity. Covey acknowledges that interdependence can be challenging, as it involves navigating complexities and vulnerabilities. However, he emphasizes that the rewards far outweigh the effort. By practicing these habits, individuals can build trust, resolve conflicts, and create relationships that are not only functional but deeply fulfilling. In conclusion, Part 3 of the book outlines the principles and practices necessary for achieving meaningful relationships and collaborative success. The public victory shifts the focus from individual achievement to collective effectiveness, teaching readers how to build trust, communicate empathetically, and leverage diversity. Through engaging examples and practical advice, Covey demonstrates that interdependence is not a compromise but a higher level of effectiveness. These habits empower individuals to move beyond self-interest and create lasting value in their relationships, teams, and communities. The final part of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, titled Renewal, focuses on Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw. This habit encapsulates the principle of balanced self-renewal and serves as the foundation for sustaining the effectiveness cultivated through the other 6 habits. Covey emphasizes that continuous personal growth is essential for maintaining physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and that renewal is not a luxury. It's a necessity for long-term success and well-being. Sharpening the saw is a metaphor drawn from a simple story. Imagine a person laboring to cut down a tree with a dull saw. When someone suggests they take time to sharpen the saw, the person responds that they are too busy sawing to stop. Covey uses this analogy to illustrate how many people exhaust themselves in relentless activity without investing in their ability to perform effectively. Renewal allows individuals to maintain their edge, ensuring their efforts remain productive rather than wasteful. This habit is built on 4 dimensions of renewal: physical, mental, emotional/social, and spiritual. Each dimension contributes to an individual's overall well-being and effectiveness, and neglecting any one of them can lead to imbalance and diminished capacity. Covey insists that these dimensions are interconnected, meaning growth in one area often supports and enhances growth in others. The physical dimension involves caring for your body through proper exercise, nutrition, and rest. Covey explains that the body is the foundation of energy and vitality. Without physical health, it becomes challenging to pursue goals or maintain meaningful relationships. He encourages readers to engage in regular aerobic exercise, strength training, and stretching to improve stamina, flexibility, and overall health. For instance, someone who commits to a consistent fitness routine may find themselves better equipped to handle stress, think clearly, and sustain their focus throughout the day. Physical renewal also includes making mindful dietary choices and prioritizing sufficient rest, as these habits restore energy and enhance resilience. The mental dimension focuses on intellectual growth and maintaining a sharp mind. Covey notes that while formal education often ends in early adulthood, learning should be a lifelong endeavor. This includes reading challenging material, writing to clarify thoughts, engaging in meaningful discussions, and solving problems creatively. Covey shares the example of a professional who dedicates time daily to studying industry trends and expanding their knowledge, which not only keeps them competitive, but also fosters a sense of purpose and engagement. Mental renewal is about staying curious and open to new ideas, constantly updating your mental map to reflect reality more accurately. The emotional and social dimension emphasizes the importance of relationships and emotional well-being. Covey highlights the critical role of trust, empathy, and meaningful connections in creating a fulfilling life. Just as an emotional bank account builds trust in relationships, regular deposits through acts of kindness, active listening, and showing appreciation strengthen bonds. For example, someone who takes time to genuinely connect with their family or colleagues often finds those relationships become a source of support and collaboration. Emotional renewal also involves managing stress and developing self-awareness, enabling individuals to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The spiritual dimension is the core of one's value system and sense of purpose. Covey explains that this dimension involves connecting with something greater than oneself, whether through meditation, prayer, reflection, or engagement with nature. Spiritual renewal provides a sense of grounding and perspective, helping individuals align their actions with their principles. Covey shares how people often experience profound spiritual renewal during moments of solitude or when contemplating their purpose in life. For example, a person who regularly takes time to reflect on their personal mission statement may find it easier to stay focused on what truly matters, even amid distractions and challenges. One of the key insights in this chapter is the principle of synergy within renewal. Just as Habit 6, Synergize, emphasizes the creative power of collaboration, the 4 dimensions of renewal work synergistically to enhance overall effectiveness. For instance, improving physical health often boosts mental clarity and emotional resilience, while deepening spiritual connections can inspire greater energy and focus. Covey describes renewal as a cycle of growth that feeds on itself, creating an upward spiral of continuous improvement. Another important aspect of renewal is its role in preventing burnout. Covey warns that neglecting any dimension of life can lead to exhaustion and diminished capacity. For example, a highly driven professional who prioritizes work at the expense of physical health and personal relationships may achieve short-term success but risks long-term failure. Renewal acts as a safeguard, ensuring individuals maintain the energy and balance needed to sustain their efforts over time. Covey also emphasizes that sharpening the saw is a proactive choice. It requires setting aside time and making deliberate efforts to invest in self-renewal, even when life feels busy or overwhelming. He recounts stories of individuals who transformed their lives by committing to daily practices that nurtured their well-being, from morning walks to journaling sessions to acts of service. These small, consistent actions create a ripple effect, enhancing not only personal effectiveness but also the quality of relationships and contributions to society. Renewal is not just about personal benefits. It also equips individuals to serve others more effectively. Covey explains that by renewing themselves, people increase their capacity to contribute to their families, workplaces, and communities. For instance, a parent who takes time to care for their own health and emotional well-being is better able to provide love, guidance, and support to their children. Similarly, a leader who invests in their own growth and renewal is better positioned to inspire and empower their team. In the broader context of the book, Habit 7 ties all the other habits together. It reinforces the importance of living a principle-centered life and provides the energy and clarity needed to consistently practice the habits. Without renewal, the effectiveness of the other habits may diminish over time. Renewal ensures that individuals remain aligned with their values and capable of contributing to the world in meaningful ways. In conclusion, Part 4 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People emphasizes the necessity of balanced self-renewal through Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. By nurturing the physical, mental, emotional/social, and spiritual dimensions, individuals can sustain their effectiveness, prevent burnout, and live a fulfilling life. Covey's message is clear. Renewal is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that requires commitment and intentionality. Through engaging examples and practical guidance, he demonstrates that sharpening the saw is the key to maintaining balance and achieving long-term success. This habit completes the journey of personal and interpersonal effectiveness, ensuring that growth and progress continue in an upward spiral. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is more than a framework for success. It is a guide for holistic personal and interpersonal transformation. The 7 habits are deeply interwoven, creating a roadmap for sustainable growth, effectiveness, and fulfillment. By integrating these principles into daily life, individuals can achieve a balance of private and public victories, ensuring long-term personal success and meaningful contributions to society. The journey begins with the private victory, the internal work of developing independence. Habit 1, Be Proactive, teaches the foundational principle of responsibility. It emphasizes that we are the creators of our responses, regardless of external circumstances. Covey uses Viktor Frankl's powerful story of surviving the Holocaust to illustrate this principle, showing that even in the harshest conditions, individuals can choose their response. Proactivity is the ability to focus on what we can control, rather than being consumed by what we cannot. Habit 2, Begin with the end in mind, builds on this proactive foundation by urging individuals to define their life's purpose. Covey's funeral exercise helps readers visualize the legacy they want to leave behind, encouraging them to align their actions with their deepest values. For instance, a professional who wants to be remembered as a devoted parent might reevaluate their priorities, choosing to spend more time with their family rather than succumbing to the demands of work. Habit 3, put first things first, operationalizes these values through disciplined prioritization. Covey's time management matrix is a practical tool that helps individuals focus on important but non-urgent activities, such as building relationships and personal growth. He shares the example of a busy executive who learns to prioritize health and family, illustrating how aligning actions with principles prevents burnout and fosters fulfillment. The public victory marks the transition to interdependence, focusing on building effective relationships and collaborative success. Habit 4, think win/win, introduces the principle of mutual benefit, replacing the competitive, scarcity-driven mindset with one of abundance and fairness. Covey's example of a father involving his son in a solution for completing chores and enjoying playtime demonstrates the power of collaboration to create trust and shared success. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood, emphasizes empathetic listening as the foundation of communication. Covey's story of a parent connecting with a rebellious teenager highlights how deep understanding fosters trust and openness. This habit transcends reactive patterns, allowing individuals to truly hear and connect with others, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. Habit 6, synergize, builds on these principles by celebrating diversity and leveraging differences to achieve creative solutions. Covey illustrates synergy through a diverse team solving a complex problem. Initially divided by their perspectives, the team ultimately achieves a breakthrough by valuing and combining their unique strengths. Synergy transforms relationships from competition to collaboration, enabling greater outcomes than individuals could achieve alone. The final habit, sharpen the saw, ties all the others together by emphasizing the principle of renewal. Habit 7 underscores that effectiveness requires ongoing investment in physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Covey's story of the man too busy sawing to sharpen his blade serves as a powerful metaphor for how neglecting self-care diminishes long-term capacity. By maintaining balance and continuously renewing themselves, individuals can sustain their growth and effectiveness over time. Together, these 7 habits create a comprehensive framework for success that is both personal and relational. The habits build on each other. Personal responsibility, Habit 1, lays the groundwork for purpose-driven living, Habit 2, and disciplined action, Habit 3. These private victories prepare individuals for the challenges of interdependence, where trust, Habit 4, empathy, Habit 5, and collaboration, Habit 6, lead to meaningful relationships and collective success. Habit 7 ensures that the cycle of growth continues, preventing stagnation and burnout. One of the most compelling aspects of Covey's framework is its emphasis on timeless principles rather than situational techniques. Principles like fairness, integrity, and respect are universal and enduring, providing a reliable foundation for navigating life's complexities. Covey's analogy of principles as lighthouses reinforces this idea. Just as a lighthouse cannot be moved, principles are unchanging and must be respected for long-term success. The emotional bank account is another valuable concept that permeates the habits. Covey uses this metaphor to illustrate how trust is built and maintained in relationships. By making regular deposits through acts of kindness, honesty, and reliability, individuals can strengthen their connections and navigate challenges with greater resilience. Conversely, neglect or dishonesty can result in withdrawals that erode trust and damage relationships. Ultimately, the 7 habits of highly effective people is about mastering oneself to better serve others. Covey's inside-out philosophy reminds readers that true change begins within. By focusing on character rather than superficial techniques, individuals can achieve not just fleeting success but lasting effectiveness and fulfillment. This journey is not easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and commitment, but the rewards are profound. A life of purpose, meaningful relationships, and a legacy of positive impact. In a world often dominated by quick fixes and surface-level solutions, Covey's framework offers a deep, principle-centered approach to living. It challenges individuals to examine their paradigms, align their actions with their values, and invest in continuous growth. By internalizing these 7 habits, anyone can transform their life from one of mere survival to one of true significance. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This timeless guide reminds us that true effectiveness isn't about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about embracing principles that shape our character and our relationships. Whether it's taking control of our choices, prioritizing what truly matters, fostering trust, or renewing ourselves, these habits provide a roadmap for living a life of purpose and impact. If this inspired you, take a moment to reflect. Which habit resonates with you the most? How can you start applying it today? Remember, real change begins from the inside out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from these powerful lessons. Let's keep growing and becoming our best selves together. Until next time, stay curious, stay committed, and keep striving for the habits that lead to greatness. Thanks for watching.